This is the new Lockheed Model 1049B Super Constellation. It is 18 4/10 feet longer than previous Constellations and introduces a new concept of mechanized handling of air cargo. The maximum payload is 38,568 pounds. Maximum takeoff weight, 130,000 pounds. The new Super Constellation has a cargo capacity in the main cabin of 4,875 cubic feet, and in lower deck compartments, a total of 693 cubic feet, for a grand total of 5,568 cubic feet. Available for the first time in a new airplane is the aero-trusty cargo conveyor in the main cabin. There are large cargo doors, both front and rear. The ease and speed with which this giant cargo carrier may be loaded and unloaded is shown in scenes which follow. External loading devices to be seen are a special Lockheed-developed cargo elevator called the Aero Lift at the rear door and a conventional forklift at the front door. This loading dock, crowded with material consigned for air shipment, symbolizes the ever greater use of aircraft for movement of freight. All of the cargo shown on the dock and more can be carried in one trip on the new Constellation. Included in the shipment is this extremely long crate, which is easily accommodated in the long fuselage of the new Constellation. The crate is 69 feet long, 4 feet 1 inch high, and 10 inches wide. First item to be loaded is this R4360 engine shipping container. The forward end of the container rests on a pair of four-wheel dollies, while two cargo lever dollies are used to support and guide the container from the rear. It rolls easily onto the platform of the aero lift, shown here in its down position, which is just 6 inches above ground level. The elevator consists of 4 vertical stanchions upon which a level platform moves up or down. It does not depend upon the airplane for support, may be moved about on its own set of rubber-tired wheels, and may be easily dismantled and carried in the lower cargo compartments of new Constellations. The elevator's outboard ramp consists of serrated sections which adapt themselves to irregularities on the ground surface. When the platform reaches its desired level, an inboard serrated ramp lets down onto the cabin floor. A cable from the Constellation's cargo conveyor is then attached to the inboard end of the container, and as the container moves into the fuselage, all pulling power is being provided by the cargo conveyor within the airplane. Cargo lever dollies are being used for steering purposes only. This rear door of the Constellation is 9 feet 4 1/2 inches wide and 6 feet 1/2 inch high. Now that the container has been swung around into alignment with the cabin, it moves easily to the desired tie-down position, with the cabin conveyor providing all pulling power. From inside the airplane, an engine loading operation looks like this. Here is a J-33 jet engine container, which weighs over 4,000 pounds when loaded. Note the cable attached to the forward end of the container. This cable passes around a snatch block on the left and then to the cargo conveyor in the foreground. The man at the left is controlling movement of the cargo conveyor by means of the long extension cord which leads from the switch in his hand to an automatic take-up reel amidships in the cabin ceiling. After removal of the cable from the snatch block, straightaway pull from the floor conveyor swings the wheels of the dollies around to bring the container into alignment with the cabin. Here again, the only manual effort required is for steering. The conveyor continues to pull the cargo until the desired tie-down position is reached. A large center of gravity travel in this airplane permits wide latitude in load placement. The cabin floor will take loads of 300 pounds per square foot, or 1,000 pounds per running foot. There is no limitation on wheel loads, permitting this heavy cargo to roll easily on its four-wheel dollies developed by Lockheed. Here's another kind of cargo, a Jeep, being driven under its own power onto the Constellation Aero Lift. Chocks are placed under the wheels, safety strap is secured, and the platform starts upward. If desirable, the outboard ramp of the elevator may be raised to form a tailgate when lifting certain types of cargo. Total capacity of the lift is 10,000 pounds, and the platform withstands a concentrated load of 500 pounds per square foot. The platform is 10 feet square. It travels from the ground to the airplane door height in approximately 30 seconds, drawing power from the airplane's electrical system or from ground sources, whichever is convenient. The ample dimensions of the airplane's door, combined with the 9.5-foot width of the cabin, allow the Jeep to be driven directly to its tie-down position. Floor tie-down fittings are provided in an 18.4-inch grid. Working loads of 2,400 pounds are permissible on fittings in the main cabin floor. The wall fittings have working capacities of 800 to 3,000 pounds. While cargo continues to be loaded at the rear door, loading can also proceed at the front door. Here a forklift is being employed for putting miscellaneous cargo aboard. Dimensions of this forward door are 5 feet 1.5 inches in width, with maximum height of 6 feet 4.5 inches. Ample size of the airplane's cabin leaves plenty of working room around both door areas, as well as space for temporary stacking of empty pallets. For rapid operational turnarounds or for stops at intermediate points, simultaneous loading and unloading of the same airplane may often be desirable. The size of the Constellation makes this entirely feasible. While cargo is being put aboard at the forward door, offloading can be taking place in the rear of the airplane, or vice versa. The Constellation cabin conveyor system may be operated from any point in the airplane and moves cargo either forward or aft. It can be utilized alternately for the front door or the rear door as needed. Length of the Constellation cabin is in excess of 80 feet, greater than that of 2 standard railroad boxcars. Its maximum width is 10 feet 4 inches, and maximum height to ceiling is 7 feet. Now miscellaneous cargo is being put aboard at the rear of the airplane. In a typical operation, the carts seen moving onto the platform would be loaded at the air freight terminal and brought to the plane in trackless trains. Detached 2 or 3 at a time, they are moved onto the platform and from there will go directly into the cabin and to their stowage position in the airplane. Thus the cargo stays on the same cart from the time it leaves the terminal or warehouse until it is stowed, without intermediate handling. The roominess of the Constellation's cabin makes it possible to unload several carts simultaneously, or for simultaneous loading and unloading at intermediate station stops. Carts which are already emptied of their cargo may be rolled aft of the door to make room for incoming carts. Now the empties are moved out for return to ground level. While the lift is returning to the ground, handlers there can be detaching additional loaded carts from the trackless train and aligning them for movement onto the elevator. Offloading operations are also expedited by use of the cargo conveyor. Here men are rigging a cable on a box of cargo which is to be offloaded. To obtain a lateral pull on the box, the cable passes around a portable snatch block at the right called a pogo stick, which fits over floor or seat studs. This shows how the cable is looped over a moving chock of the aerotrusty conveyor. These chocks, called donkeys, may be positioned wherever desired in the endless chain-link conveyor which runs beneath the floor channel. In response to the conveyor's pull on the cable, the heavy box slides out to the center of the cabin without disturbing cargo on either side of it. Now the cable is disengaged from the pogo stick, giving the conveyor a straightaway pull on the box in order to move it to the rear cargo door opening. Notice that no manual effort is required from any member of the crew, except for steering direction of the box. A donkey may also be used in the conveyor chain for pushing purposes. Here, the donkey is placed in the conveyor behind the box of cargo, a procedure which is more convenient when a one-man unloading operation is desired. In more confined space, 2 pogo sticks are used in combination. The extra stick in the center keeps the conveyor cable from fouling on the cargo seen at the right. These pogo sticks fit into standard floor fittings and can be placed wherever desired in the cabin floor. Once the box has been moved to cabin center line, a direct pull from the conveyor will move the box to the rear. Once more, only sufficient effort to guide the box need be exerted by the crew. By using the Constellation cabin conveyor and exterior elevator at the rear cargo door, an entire load of miscellaneous cargo can be put aboard this new Constellation in a 3 or 4 hour period by one man. The easy air cargo procedures which have been shown here are not a dream of the future. They are at hand for both commercial and military cargo services. The first of the new bigger Constellations are already flying, and following them on the production line are the mighty transports that will set new records in cargo performance.